3 days of training, 1 day of tournament play, and it all comes down to this final championship between Quantic SaSe and Liquid Red. I'm Day 9.
And I'm DJ Wheat, and I'll tell you what, we couldn't have two better players here in the finals. Of course,
yes.
One of the focus players, Liquid Red, who specifically came here to train on his Zerg versus Protoss. He now gets to put all that training to the test. All weekend long, he's not only gone through his challenges, but also had the opportunity to spar with the many Protosses that were here, including this man, Quantic SaSe.
And it will be a best of 5 between these two players. And again, since it's a ZVP best of 5, feel free to drive all the way out to Full Sail University. We're hanging out down here in Orlando, Florida, wrapping up the day. You see Red has torn apart Protoss after Protoss. Can he do it 3 times in a row in a best of 5 in the grand final? We are about to find out.
Yeah, I'm really excited, and the countdown has begun. The first map is going to be MLG Cloud Kingdom, as we get ready for game 1 of this best of 5. Rhett, who has shown amazing macro and even started to refine his transitions all weekend long. SaSe, the tool belt Protoss, this guy just pulls out everything he needs for the right situation. I've been impressed by both of these guys, and either way, no matter who the winner is, both of them are champions in my eyes.
Well, in the top right corner, the man who has shown more creative builds than anyone else here, it's Quantic Gaming SaSe.
And in the southwest position as the Red Zerg, give it up for Team Liquid's favorite, Rhett.
Now, the map is going to be Cloud Kingdom, and keep in mind, SaSe pretty much said straight up, I don't really open air. I generally always go Warp Prism, Robo-based plays, Blink-based plays, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that infamous Warp Prism with Immortal from SaSe doing some huge damage, and I'm really excited to see him bust that out at future events.
Yeah, I mean, just to recap where we've seen it this weekend, we've had a few games where SaSe has actually completely devastated the main base hive or lair just with this Immortal drop, even while having immense pressure at his front door. And that's just one of the many things that he's got in his arsenal of tricks, and I absolutely agree with you. I think that we will see some sort of play along this finals. I also mentioned to you earlier that, you know, Sean, I would not be surprised to see this go all 5 games.
Well, SaSe is definitely starting to put the pressure on right now in Game 1, doing the mining trick where you send your probe to mine right before the drone arrives, and it ends up glitching the AI, and he ends up shooting off in another direction. Now SaSe is standing there blocking that natural expansion. Does he want to build a pylon blindly? It looks like no. He's actually saving up for a 17 Nexus, another very greedy opening like the one we saw Naniwa do not long ago.
Yeah, this also is, you know, well, I guess it was more like 16, where Parting also was opening with this similar build. Rhett is going to go ahead and know, well, I might not get my natural down, so we'll put it at the 3rd. Another common strategy that we've been seeing a lot here in these ZVPs this weekend.
And look at SaSe being very, very bold with his probe production. Already at 18 of 18, will almost certainly build another pylon up here as part of the wall-in. We see that SaSe is also setting that probe all the way back to that natural expansion, because, hell, if he couldn't block the first one, he may as well block attempt number 2.
Yep. He's going to go for it, and pool is finished now, so that means we'll have actually no Zerglings as of yet. 2 more drones can handle it just fine, and the Zerglings are already out. 1 Zergling chasing it away, the other 3 going to head to the middle of the map and start to scout. He's also got his Overlord in position just above that cliff. And this is a very important cliff to really use to your advantage, because you can keep that there. And there's some safety in like floating him back and forth, also being able to sneak in and check out any tech that might exist in that natural.
And SaSe going for 2 gateways voluntarily at the start. He's actually not even going to try to hide them. He's not going to try to, or he's not going to try to wall off with them. He's not trying to go for any sort of funky defense. He's actually going to go for some sort of surprise push, and he may very well be saving some Chrono Boost to do a very fast +1 Zealot attack upgrade, and it looks like Zealot number 1 is en route. If you're in Rhett's position, you're going to be thinking, you know what, he's got to be hiding that Cybernetics core back a little bit. He doesn't dare advance forward because of that cannon. Great placement there by SaSe, and let's see, with that first 100 gas, if we see that level 1 weapon research pop in.
And there it is, just exactly with the timing of that, as Zealot number 1 does pop out. That means that Rhett is also going to get his third and natural up with no problems at all. But what exactly will the plan be for SaSe? We'll see. This continues to develop out. We have a pylon in here inside the main, but where is that cybernetics core? Not quite yet down.
Wow, he's actually just delaying the cybernetics core voluntarily. He's going to be doing the chrono boost, and the question is, does Rhett get the Roach Warren up in time? In about 10 seconds, we're going to see both of these geysers go down. There's the drone train as they start to split up towards that natural. The third base already doing quite well. And Zealot number 1, 2, and 3 are out. Another chrono boost. He's already halfway done. There's the two geysers just after 6 minutes. Where's the Roach Warren popping down right now at 6:15?
Yep, and these first two Zealots going to hit fairly soon here. He's going to immediately go to the third because he knows that that was down. He did scout it. And these Zealots are going to come in. And the timing with the +1, it's not quite there yet. But as these units begin to filter in and as the third Zealot joins.
A third Nexus from SaSe.
Wow. And
there's the cybernetics core.
Whoa.
Whoa.
In a pretty vulnerable position, but he's got a plan. And again, SaSe, one thing that he's always had is a plan. So, yeah, another gateway and the Psy-Core throwing down a cannon, too. It's almost like the secondary wall. So here come the Zealots with +1 completing. One going to go down. Was this as effective as SaSe had hoped with another additional Zealot coming in here? He's most certainly going to be able to take down this Queen, too. More Zerglings are on the way, and he may force Rhett to pull some drones away, or he could possibly just move back, not ready to fully commit to that because there's more Zealots on the way.
Really nice defense by Rhett, but look at SaSe already getting up this expansion. Killed off his own probe because he was dumb enough to lock himself in. And now as we see 4 gateways wrapping up for SaSe, we have a couple over here, and we have all the rest behind the natural expansion. Looks like SaSe is going to end up with a nice little fast third base on Cloud Kingdom.
And using these Zealots to control space in the middle, especially because versus the Zerg and the way that the Zerg are playing lately, that speed comes really, really late. So he can't just spit out Zerglings and respond to this, but the timing of the Roaches from Rhett are really, really perfect as 6 are going to pop out here. And that should be able to defend this despite the fact that these are +1 Zealots. We didn't see a quick +2, and here these Zealots going to come in once again to the third.
This is an uncannily cool build from SaSe, and the question is Rhett's understanding of his new set of ZVP play enough? Note that off creep, we see Zealots have 2.25 move speed, Roaches 2.25 move speed. That means that SaSe can be as aggressive as he wants with the Zealots, knowing full well he can retreat from these Roaches if need be.
And they will just have a nice little jaunt. But look, at Zerglings in the north side heading over to this third. Does he know that this is here? He knows that at least the gateway went down. Might be surprised to see.
Wow, is that going to be a big shock? Especially to see the core there, as he's going to get the good old 10.5-minute warp gate play.
I mean, with the core being right there, I mean, even with the, another Zealot got trapped, and he had to be taken out by the cannons as well. I'm just really curious to see what Rhett thinks the best approach is going to be. Like, SaSe is very spread out in his base, certain tech all over. Well, Rhett takes not only 4, but number 5 as well.
I think that's a smart play, but Rhett's got to be careful with how he ends up spreading his creep around and how he ends up defending this collection of bases he's tossing down. Clearly, he's putting SaSe in a defensive position. He's got to build these extra photon cannons if he wants to stay alive. But I mean, SaSe can easily do a really quick push. I mean, we already see that Blink and +2 are coming up. In the unit station, we see, amazingly, 63 workers for SaSe. He is easily keeping a great economy up.
Minute 50-second hive.
Holy cow. And they're, wow.
Yeah,
wow.
Really, I mean, we've been saying, hey, that's a pretty fast 12, 30, and 13-minute hive.
Whoa.
And no, let's just take it one step further.
But, I mean, SaSe really knows his timing. He's getting that robo facility up. He's getting another warp gate. I'm sure that there are Protosses on the ladder just licking their lips, wanting to know the first time they can try the SaSe 3-base play. The first time I ever saw this was from Kiwi Kaki, but SaSe doing a little bit of modernization, using it on this map as opposed to some of the older school maps like Shattered Temple or like Antigua Shipyard. And there's the Blink, the +2 about to finish up, and the robo facility for the observer, but man, you're going to have to be very leery of the fact that there are almost Guardians on the field. Broodlords, Guardians.
I knew what you meant there.
Good
buddy.
old Brood War slipping out of my mouth. How
Yeah.
embarrassing.
And we have a few more pylons up in the back, some cannons as well, which is like an interesting placement. Again, SaSe with this, obviously, I don't feel like he's just, well, I'm just going to do this arbitrarily. Like, this is well planned out and well thought out. And again, we see something new coming out of SaSe here at this competition.
I mean, every single game and every single matchup we've seen new from SaSe. I mean, we even didn't stream the games where he defeated Puma 2-0, and Puma's really known as a master of the PvT matchup, and SaSe has really been up against top-notch opponents again and again and again and again and again, and has managed to win every time.
Well, here comes a Warp Prism and the Dark Shrine going to be coming up while the Gateway Army moves out. Oh, this Infestor, what are you doing? And, oh, he came over from that south base. And look at already the Spine Crawler wall that he's got here. However, from this position, keep in mind, this particular hatchery, the back is very, very vulnerable because of the high ground there. And here comes some links. There is going to be a fungal, but he actually probably shouldn't just waste those fungals. He needs to also be applying additional damage there.
We do see some Zerglings cutting off a couple of Stalkers that managed to blink their way forward. We see the +3 coming up, another Robo. There's the dual Robo again. If you actually come to the main, you see that these are the only two buildings in the main for SaSe as he continues to push on down to that base.
And here we go, an attack here on the ramp. The Fungals go down. The Zerglings are going to do a great job, but the Burrow to keep those Infestors alive, going to get another Fungal, but only on 3 of those Stalkers. Are there enough units here to finish up? Finally, the Zealots come in and do it. Coming out of nowhere from the south, we see more Zerglings moving forward. All that's left are Sentry and Zealots.
And it looks like Rhett holds off the timing push from SaSe. I mean, Rhett really understanding this new style well. A mix of new and old. And this DT drop's going to have to be the money play for SaSe.
Yeah, it's moving right across the middle of the map, though. Will be seen by this Ling at the watchtower. He's going to get on his walkie-talkie and let everyone else back home know exactly what he saw. And, of course, we're going to have some DTs warping in almost immediately. Now, do we have any sort of detection? Well, we do. We have these Infestors right here who can just fungal these guys, and he will see the Corruptors coming out. Is he going to see it? There's the perfect fungal, no damage done, but he needs to do some damage to these units. And he may just have to chain fungal just to make sure that he doesn't get caught off guard. Here come the rest of some Lings.
Oh, and Archon gets plopped down. Nice response there by SaSe. We do see that, meanwhile, back home, a single Stargate is being produced by SaSe up in the main. No doubt he's trying to tech towards that key mothership to do the Archon toilet. But in that passive period, we saw that SaSe did manage to get a couple of kills on the bottom right, but still not enough to disable the expansion.
Yeah, and of course, that can all be pretty much thwarted with a spine or a Spore Crawler and a bunch of spines. Something we'll likely see at all of the bases come up, and he's pretty much got all of that covered. Now, we've got the Corruptors out in the field. Already 7 Broodlords are being morphed, and where are those? We've got a bunch already in the main. That's all of them right there at the natural. He's got a bunch of Lings that are running around, making sure that there are no hidden expansions going up at all. And this is where SaSe just kind of gets contained on 3 bases, and look at how far ahead we see the tech of Rhett. He's already at 1-2 +3. Actually, no, he decided to throw down that extra Spire so he could work on some air upgrades.
Oh, and this is exactly what Rhett was trying to avoid, losing the Greater Spire, the key to his strategy. We see 2 Dark Templar morphing in as well somewhere on the map, but it looks like the Greater Spire is going to end up falling. A second one instantly getting morphed as well.
Yeah, that's a very, very solid move. I mean, he intended to do that with the upgrades, but still it's okay. We see the Corruptors move forward to go ahead and take out that Warp Prism while the Broodlords, who were smartly morphed at the natural, do come in to defend the main.
Looks like there's SaSe trying to do another blink to escape, but he's going to get nabbed by a fungal growth. Oh, he manages to get almost every Stalker except one. And it looks like he will lose maybe more of these Infestors. It looks like somewhat of an even trade for SaSe, but SaSe needs to buy himself enough time to get up this expansion.
Yeah, and even if he gets up the expansion, you know it's crawling over to this area as those Broodlords, and there are 7 of them right now. The Stalker count pretty much demolished by that last little attack right there. They will not be able to take out the number of Broodlords that we see here.
Oh, wow. Rhett maxing out so fast with such a big army, continuing to throw down those Broodlings, and it looks like all these cannons are going to fall very quickly. SaSe really needs that mothership up, but he just hasn't had the time.
Yeah, the mothership is only about a third the way done, if even that. And this force cannot protect us. The probes do have to move back. This expansion will undoubtedly fall. What is the follow-up? More Broodlords on the way, continuing those upgrades. It looks like another Spire did go down. He's just stacking on the Corruptors, and he may just choose to just brute force with these Broodlords. He's not, I mean, SaSe's going to have a really difficult time getting a fourth up.
I mean, he is just trying to be relentless with the expanding. He does have that fourth at the top left down. This is a good way to get away from the Broodlords, but the problem is the best way to transition from Broodlords is to add on more. He's on 8, and he's going to try to add on another 8 and be at 16 and then maybe 30 by the end of the game. And at that point, it's going to be so difficult. We see that there are more spines being added. Nice defensive thinking there by Rhett. If he's being so aggressive, he needs to have some way to deal with counters.
Yeah, and I think he was worried about any DTs slipping in there, especially as his army moves further and further away from the base. It is going to be a little bit slower, and he wants this siege to go his way, not have to pull everything back, because of course that can delay the inevitable cancellation on that Nexus. So the fourth is down. Now, this is scary here, because if he starts sieging with the Broodlords, how does SaSe attack it?
He made a nice little choke here. SaSe's actually going to have to go around the other side, and it looks like with just 4 Archons, he may have to do exactly that. He does not have enough to do the Archon toilet, but holy God, that's so many Broodlords. Easily gobbling up that front side expansion set. We see the Broodlings continuing to chase him down, and SaSe's third is under serious fire.
Yeah, +3 melee just finished up as well. Those Zerglings already with adrenal glands. He's using those to poke around the map. Here comes that army from the back, cloaked with that mothership, but still he cannot attack this army the way that he wants to.
And now SaSe, the question is, how low on probes is he? He's still at 58, still a reasonable amount if he wants to try to keep on expanding, but he has to get all these Broodlords nice and clustered up.
And here he goes. He's moving in. He morphed a few more Archons, blinking forward, trying to get into whatever Broodlords he possibly can, but the damage has been done. Some sick fungals here would definitely help out, and he's got to protect those Broodlords. He's already done so much damage even inside the main, but he's even got them spread out. One Vortex is certainly not going to diminish this entire army.
Oh gosh, he has the Broodlord so spread out. He needs to land the perfect Vortex. Can he get it? Oh, Rhett getting a little bit clustered, but it looks like the mothership taking some damage from all those fungals. It looks like SaSe can't even really move this force, but somehow he manages to break through, and there he manages to work his way underneath all the Broodlords. SaSe currently having absolutely no income. Will SaSe be able to break through this Broodlord force? It looks like, amazingly, the answer is he does defend.
Wow, now the question is with such a great economy, can Rhett just instantly rebuild what he's got here? What does he have ready? He's already got 4 Corruptors out on the field. He's going to immediately put those into Broodlords. Some Lings coming out as well. And he may need to try to counterattack into the main to continue to do damage. He does have 1 Broodlord in the main that's just pecking away. But you know what SaSe does? He immediately goes for the counterattack. And we're going to be in a base race situation.
Now, the weird spot for Liquid Red is that he just doesn't have enough queens. Look at that. 3 queens in production. He desperately needs those up so he can get the larva to spend a sick amount of money. How does he replenish his army? Is it Broodlords? Is it Overseers? Right now, SaSe has rebuilt up a very potent force. We see 20 Corruptors, about to pop 22. He's going to try to win by flooding the skies, but now it looks like Liquid Red is nearly broke, continuing to advance forward. Oh, I think Red may have made a big mistake by not replenishing with just a simple Roach Hydra force.
Oh, and it looks like the Greater Spire is going to go down. Does he have any more? There's
the Vortex.
But it only gets a couple of those Corruptors. He's still got some Broodlords in the mix, trying to bring the Lings into the battle as well. More Corruptors coming out. They need to focus down that mothership.
And he gets the mothership down. Can he manage to get a good Archon toilet follow-up? It looks like a couple of units there. It looks like the Broodlords are there. And wow, that's a lot of Corruptors. And with an incredible counterattack, there's still some Stalkers left. I mean, these 2 armies might completely cancel out. But no, it looks like the Broodlord force of Rhett a little bit too large.
Yeah, and in fact, don't forget, we still have almost nothing inside the main. The 1 Broodlord just sieging away at SaSe's natural now. And, I mean, he just needs ground units. The Lings, will they be enough? Here they come. They're trying to surround, and force fields can only protect them for so long. I think this will possibly be it.
And a good game. Wow, SaSe, I mean, even though he lost that game, you gotta be impressed. with the relentless play of SaSe, the creative opening, the flounder in the mid-game, and the attempted base race that didn't quite go his way. But man, Rhett showing his ZVP has been revolutionized in just one weekend of focused practice.
And that was even a level that we hadn't seen him do before. The 10-minute, 30-second hive. Such a quick push to the Broodlords. And it's almost surprising that SaSe was able to just push and go on that and actually do some very, very serious damage, because when you see that many Broodlords, you're just like, well, what does he do now?
Yeah.
It didn't look like he had enough to handle it, but gosh. Did he ever?
It's really going to show that it's extremely difficult in this day and age to rely on just the Infestor Broodlord force. Protoss now know that every army does have a weakness, and SaSe with the Colossus and the Archons there to clean up the Broodlings. In a sense, the Broodlords don't actually do that much damage once you cut the Broodlings out of the picture.
Sure.
You can easily blink underneath and start picking them off slowly. Sure, you're going to take some massive losses, but you can replenish 12 Stalkers far more easily than the Zerg can replenish